following CCTV footage was recorded late at night in 2022, during a time when the area should have been completely dead silent. No people, no activity, nothing moving near the property at all. But for a brief moment, the camera appears to capture something that should not have been there. Something dark, fast, and difficult to explain. Watch closely. Near the gate on the right side of the screen, a shadowy form suddenly slips into view, then vanishes almost instantly, as if it was never there to begin with. Some viewers believe it could be a simple camera malfunction, the kind of visual distortion security systems sometimes produce in darkness. And yes, insects near the lens, shifting light, or digital interference can create strange effects. But others think this clip feels far more disturbing than an ordinary glitch. In paranormal folklore, there are countless stories about black, human-like figures that appear only for a split second, lingering at the edge of sight before disappearing without a trace. Some believe they are wandering spirits. Others say they are something even darker, entities that move through places unnoticed until a camera catches them at exactly the wrong moment. Of course, there's no way to prove that from one short clip alone. But when something appears out of the darkness, moves with purpose, and then melts away as if it was never part of this world, it leaves behind an unsettling question. Was this only a shadow? Or did that camera catch something truly paranormal passing through the night? Kaulan Kirby for Stansiotis, Norfrisano Round Ricassachies Anaris. This creepy clip was reportedly recorded somewhere in Indonesia by a woman who had gone to check on her new apartment late at night. From the moment she arrived, something already felt wrong. The entire place was without power, completely dark, silent, and unnaturally still. Most people would have turned around right there. But after traveling a long distance to get there, she decides not to waste the trip and steps inside anyway. And what she ends up capturing is the kind of footage that would make anyone regret walking through that door.
يا بنات لا تناموا بطونكم فاضية، أنا صحيت جوعانة وأحس بطني راح يلصق بظهري من الجوع.
As her camera moves through the darkness, several figures can suddenly be seen gathered around a table in the kitchen. What looks like a woman and a group of children standing unnaturally still. Then, almost at once, they turn toward her. Their eyes appear to glow in the dark, fixed directly on her from across the room. The moment is so sudden and so deeply unnatural that she immediately screams and runs in terror. Whether this was some kind of elaborate setup, a trick of the light, or something genuinely sinister waiting inside that apartment, the footage is disturbing enough to leave one terrifying question behind. If no one was supposed to be living there, then who, or what, was waiting for her in the dark? Kyle makes his way down to the basement early in the morning, and this time, whatever he hears is nothing like the strange activity he had dealt with before. In the past, it was subtle. The sound of children giggling, light footsteps, the eerie sense of something small moving around below. But on this morning, the energy feels completely different. The noise is loud, violent, and impossible to ignore.
Footsteps all freaking night. Who's knocking on my basement door? upstairs.
When the pounding suddenly stops, Kyle opens the door and finds no one there. At first, he reaches for the most rational explanation. Maybe someone heard him coming and slipped away. Maybe it was some kind of prank. Maybe there's a logical answer he just hasn't figured out yet. But that idea falls apart almost instantly. Outside, the ground is blanketed in fresh snow. If anyone, child or adult, had been there, there should have been footprints leading away from the house. But there are none. Nothing. No tracks. No sign that anyone ever came or went, and that's where this case turns far more disturbing. Because if whatever was making that noise didn't leave like a real person, then maybe it never needed to leave at all. Maybe it was never outside the door in the normal sense. Maybe it was already inside, only changing the way it made itself known. Some viewers believe that's exactly what makes this footage so unsettling. The activity no longer feels playful. It feels aggressive, like whatever is in that house is becoming bolder. And for Kyle, this is no longer just another creepy incident to brush aside. It's one more terrifying piece of a haunting that seems to be escalating, with no clear explanation in sight. Late one night, a woman named Tammy was pulling into her driveway, expecting nothing more than a quiet return home. But the moment she stepped out of her car, something across the road caught her attention, something that immediately felt wrong. She couldn't explain it, only that whatever she was looking at didn't belong there. Thankfully, the entire encounter was captured on her CCTV camera. Take a look. Across the street, a strange glowing light appears, hovering low to the ground. At first, it seems like it might be something ordinary, until Tammy realizes the light isn't moving by itself. It's attached to something else, a dark figure, crawling unnaturally on all fours. Moments later, it rises up, standing upright for just a second as if scanning the area. Then it begins to move again, stepping along the sidewalk before its shape briefly distorts in a way that doesn't look human at all. And just as quickly, it drops back down onto all fours and disappears out of frame. Tammy says she has no idea what she witnessed that night, but whatever it was, it didn't move like a person. It didn't behave like anything she recognized. And seeing something like that, alone in the darkness, is enough to leave anyone shaken. Late one night, two girls were home alone, spending what looked like an ordinary sleepover together. It's unclear whose house they were staying in, but judging by what was captured that night, it's probably not a place either of them would want to sleep in again. At the time, it seemed harmless. Just two kids staying up late, talking, laughing, and recording on a phone. But somewhere in the background of that innocent moment, something deeply unsettling appears.
Who are you? Walking really funny.
The girl behind the camera is known as Kay Marie, and according to her, this footage was recorded years ago when she was still in grade school. A lot of time has passed since then. But she says she still hasn't forgotten what happened that night. In her own words, she and her cousin were just messing around when they accidentally captured something strange. And once you see it, it's easy to understand why the memory never left her. Watch closely.
Okay? Okay, start over. Hello from the other side. Run outside. Walking really funny. That one ready? Go. Hold on, go over there and then go like. Dude, what the heck, man? Who are you? Hello? What was that? Did you guys see that? It's at least I got that on camera. Bye.
It happens fast, so fast that you could miss it if you blink. A pale, translucent-looking figure suddenly passes by, almost like a thin wisp of smoke taking shape for only a second. Kay Marie instantly reacts, clearly aware that she saw something, but unable to understand what it was. Then, just after she asks, "Who are you?" something even stranger seems to dart above her head.
Dude, what the heck, man? Who are you? Hello? What was that?
The movement is so quick and so unnatural that it's almost impossible to make out any clear shape. It doesn't move like a person. It doesn't drift like dust. It just shoots across the room with an eerie, weightless motion that feels wrong the moment you see it. And as disturbing as that already is, it wouldn't be the only strange thing captured that night. Because later on, Kay Marie records something even harder to explain.
What was that? Did you guys see that? Come on. Come here. Come on. Come here.
This time, a faint voice can be heard in the footage, quietly saying, "Come here." It's barely audible, but once noticed, it becomes difficult to ignore. The voice sounds thin, distant, almost whispered from somewhere just out of frame. What makes it even more disturbing is that Kay Marie says she didn't hear it in the moment. And yet only seconds later, she repeats those exact same words herself, as if responding to something she wasn't even consciously aware of.
Come on. Come here.
No one knows where that voice came from, or why she echoed it back. But even that isn't the strangest part of the night, because only moments later, while filming in the living room, Kay Marie appears to capture one final detail that leaves the entire experience even more unsettling. Watch carefully.
Hello from the other side. Run outside. Walking really funny. At least I got that on camera. Bye.
On the surface of the TV screen, a reflection suddenly appears, showing what looks like something moving through the room where no one should have been. And that's what makes this part so disturbing. Kay Marie is sitting down at the time, and her cousin is in another room. If no one else was there, then whose movement is reflected on that screen? And why does the reflection show that figure, but not the flash from her phone or the light from the room behind her? Kay Marie herself pointed out that the screen did not reflect the camera light the way it should have. In other words, whatever appeared there didn't seem to behave like an ordinary reflection at all. To this day, she still shares the footage hoping someone can explain what happened that night. But so far no one has been able to give her an answer. And maybe that's the most unsettling part of all. A man known as Jack M203 lives alone in a small house in Mexico, and for weeks, something has been disturbing the silence outside his home at night. Again and again, he hears strange noises coming from the backyard, sounds unsettling enough to pull him outside to investigate. But every time he checks, there's nothing there. No person, no animal, no clear source. Hoping to finally catch whatever has been lurking beyond the house after dark, Jack installs a security camera facing the backyard. Then, one night, the camera detects motion. Just above the clothesline, a shape begins to appear, and it looks disturbingly like a face staring straight into the lens. Not just a shadow, not just a blur, but something with features almost human, hanging in the darkness as if it's watching. Jack immediately switches on the outdoor light, and the face vanishes. But the moment the light goes out again, it returns. After posting the footage online, Jack claimed he may have captured something paranormal on camera. So, what do you think was waiting outside his house in the dark? A trick of shadows, or something far more sinister that didn't want to be seen in the light? A man named Nate, experiencing strange, unsettling incidents for long. Over time, more and more people began telling him the same thing, that maybe he was giving whatever this is too much attention, that every reaction, every acknowledgement, every fearful response might actually be making the paranormal activity worse. So Nate decided to change his approach. He stopped reacting, stopped speaking to it, stopped giving it any attention at all. He tried to go about his normal routine as if nothing unseen was there with him. But that silence didn't last. Because one morning, this happened.
All right. So you people tell me to ignore things, so... Tell me what the that is. I have things going on in here and in the bathroom right above me, or some upstairs above me at the same time. But, you know, I'll just ignore it. And it's not as simple as people think. Unless people experience these things, then it's not as easy as just ignoring it when this shit happens to you. I'm working on it.
Once again, faint whispers can be heard in the background. The words are unclear, but the presence of a voice is hard to ignore, and what makes the moment even more disturbing is that, just seconds before he started recording, the cabinet the cup falls from had been completely shut. No one touched it. No one opened it. Yet somehow, the cup still ends up falling out. Moments like this are exactly why so many people believe attention matters in cases of haunting and unexplained activity. Some say that fear feeds it, that reacting gives whatever is there more energy to work with. But others believe ignoring it doesn't weaken it at all. It only forces it to become more aggressive, more obvious, more impossible to ignore. And for Nate, the disturbing activity doesn't stop inside his house, because whatever follows him there may also be following him to work.
All right. Good morning, ghosts. Happy Friday to you guys, too. Well, I don't really see anything out of place or kind of. Everything looks. Oh. I could feel that. I could feel that. Did I offend you by saying good morning? Huh. That's different. All right. I take back the good morning then. Oh, okay. We're gonna do this now. All right. I take back good morning then. Jesus Christ. Well, now the knocking on the walls has started once again. Just figured I'd turn the camera on and see if I can catch it, because I mean it was every wall. Like, and it's inside because when it did it on this wall, this and the chains were slightly swaying. So that tells me I wish I could understand what whatever this is wanted. I mean, is there any way to let me know exactly what it is you're trying to tell me, or I just don't understand what exactly it is.
At the cemetery where Nate works, something can be heard slamming against the garage walls again and again. These don't sound like random settling noises or distant echoes. They sound heavy, deliberate, almost like something on the other side is trying to force its way through, or trying to make absolutely sure it's heard. Some viewers believe the location itself may be part of the reason. Cemeteries have long been linked to lingering spiritual energy, places marked by grief, loss, anger, and unfinished emotions. But others think the explanation may be even darker than that. They believe this may not be tied to the cemetery at all, but to Nate himself, that something may have attached itself to him, following him from one place to another. And then, while at work, he finds one of the strangest signs yet.
We have this morning. Just one. No other ones. Just one single claw print or weird handprint. Fingers are super long. They look a little Sharp on the edge, like small scratches underneath, and there is it's almost like it was jumping up there, but I don't see anything.
On the floor is a deep, claw-like mark. Not several, just one, as if something appeared for a moment, dragged itself across the surface, and then vanished without a trace. Some viewers even say they can hear quiet whispers near the end of the clip, though no one can clearly make out what is being said. And that only makes the footage more unsettling, because if that mark wasn't made by a person, then what left it there? For now, no one has an answer, and whatever is haunting Nate's life remains very much unexplained.